we have got to fix this steering.
Doing a little more like off-roader work. So this is a buddy's, it's like a 1990 4Runner, something like that. A little V6. So the power steering pump was whenever he would get these big tires like pushed up against a rock or a tree or an embankment, it would just shoot power steering fluid at that front seal where the pulley is. So putting a new pump on there, really you can just do the seal, but as long as we're taking it off, pumps aren't super expensive. Just throw a new one on there, then you can bench rebuild the old one. But so to get to this point, first you treat it like you're loosening the belt, like you want to change your V-belt. So a couple of bolts. There's a primary bolt that serves as a hinge, and then there's a lock bolt that serves as a clamp. So loosen those bolts, swing the pump over, take the belt off, and then just take the bolts all the way off. You've got two lines. You've got a low pressure line. It's just going to have a hose clamp on it. And you've got a high pressure line. It's got the steel end, and that's going to have like a banjo type bolt that is this. So here we've got the pump off. So low pressure line goes here, just clamped there. The high pressure line is here. So as you're removing the high pressure line, you've got to hold this hex stationary as you crack loose this bolt. If you don't have new copper crush washers, just keep those. They are reusable. But the problem was when the pulley is on there, it traps that hinge, the pivot bolt, so you can't get that bolt out because it knocks into the back side of the pulley, which means the pump will not come off of the engine because this is holding it to the block. So what I used, just spun the nut off, just counterclockwise. It's a regular right hand thread, and I just put a pickle fork in there like a ball joint separator and just kind of smacked it with a rubber mallet. This pump did not take a lot of force to get that pulley to come off, and then I could pull the bolt off, and then the pump came off of the vehicle. Let's see, the new one has the pulley on there. I think I'm gonna have to get the pulley off to get that bolt back in there. So let's just open up this new one. I think this is an Edelman pump. By the way, the bolts on the bracketry are 14 millimeter. This, we've got to transfer this part of the bracket to the new pump. The nut on the front of the pulley was a 17 millimeter, and the bolt for the pressure line, I used a 7/8, so that's probably, I don't know, what, like a 22 millimeter or something like that. Anyways, let's open this. Okie dokie. So still got the nut on there, and this bolt has to go through there. And as you can see, it ain't going through there because the pulley's in the way. So we're gonna have to remove the pulley to get this bolt in there into the pivot so we can put it on the engine, and then we'll put the pulley back on there. Okay, so for getting the pulley off of the new pump, it again was a 17 millimeter bolt, and I just used an old V-belt, wrap it around the belt, and then hold it to hold the pulley still while I put the impact on there and just zip that nut off. It's got plenty of Loctite on there from the factory, which is bizarre because you do have to remove the pulley. So I've just got a jaw style pulley remover, and we're just going to crank down on that, and it's, you know, removing the pulley just like it's supposed to. A few more revolutions here, and this pulley is ready to come off. Almost. Almost. Oh, come on. Come on. We're so close. Okay. Is that it? Starting to jiggle a little bit. Get out of the way, tool. That was premature. I'm on there about like a 1/16 of an inch. Anyways, yeah, there we go. Okay, we got it. Yeah. So you see it is keyed. There's the keyway. Here's the key, little Woodruff key is going to stay in its little slot there. So now, don't want to lose that. I'm going to leave that with the pulley. Now we can get this back on the car and put our bolt through there. And that part literally just took 30 seconds. Just plop the pump in place, and then there's that bolt. It goes through the bracket, captures the power steering pump, and threads in on the back side of the bracket. So that's the pivot bolt. And then we've got the bracket down here. That's where those two 14mm bolts fasten the bracket on the pump that we transferred from the old one. Oi, be still. This steel bracket here. And then we've got our capture bolt on the back side. So that's when you snug that down, then this thing will be stationary. So now I can get that pulley back on here. Just make sure the keyway is lined up, and then we'll torque it down and put the belt back on there. All right, I know I've got a glare in here, but because we can only kind of see the side of the pulley, you see I scribed a couple of little lines right there with a pick, and that helped me line up the keyway inside the pulley with the key as I was trying to push it on there. And once you get it lined up, you can just kind of tap the pulley and we'll get it pushed back enough to where we have some threads exposed here. Then we can put the nut on and use the nut to push the pulley into its position. And we'll note here, obviously right now it's still pretty far ahead. It should line up with that pulley right there. And there we go. This belt was stretched out all the way, so the pump is actually pivoted. It's in its maximum travel location just to get that belt tight enough. So really this needs a new belt. But it's as simple as that. You know, you've got your bracket here, your clamp down bolt, your pivot bolt, your pressure line bolt, and your low pressure line clamp, and then that thing comes apart. Again, that 17 mil. When you're tightening this, you know, you want to put some Loctite on the threads, and this just goes clockwise. So if you've got the belt tense, that's going to help you tighten this to keep the pulley still as you're tightening it. And that little sensor, that module, this has two vacuum nipples coming off of it, and that goes to, you see right here, here's a horseshoe of vacuum line. So there's a vacuum nipple, and then there's behind this one, there's another one. So two vacuum lines come off of there and travel to the sensor. And all that does is when your tires are, if you're at low RPM and the pump is struggling to turn the tires, like if you're up against a stump or something, that will, it's basically a pressure sensor. It's going to trigger the computer and tell it to boost the idle. So 800, 1000, 1200 RPM, whatever it needs to generate more pressure to help you steer the front wheels. So I'm going to throw the battery back in here. I just took it out to give me space right here. And then I'm going to go ahead and get the front wheels off of the ground while I fill this up, and slowly full clock left to the right until we work all the air out of the system, and then it's good to go. We're going to do some more stuff to this little off-road 4Runner here. So we're going to do like a suspension fake out lift. So as you can see, I've already got the wheel off, and what we're doing is installing this block on top of the upper ball joint. What that's going to do is push the upper control arm up, effectively pushing your wheel down farther from the body, so that separation is giving you some added lift. So in order to do that, obviously raise the vehicle, take the wheel off, and support the lower control arm. Okay, I've got it right here by the ball joint. And then I'm gonna just compress it a little bit to get the upper control arm to come up enough for me to shove something. I just used a socket so it's not resting on that bump stop. So that's going to keep the upper arm kind of up in its travel a little bit. So when I let my stand down to let this lower arm down, this remains in place. So what we're going to do next, or what I've just done, but what you would do is back the nuts off. Let me zoom in a little bit here. The 1, 2, 3, 4 nuts at the ball joint. Just back them up to the top of those studs and then smack them down to start driving those studs out of the ball joint plate. And what you might have to do, what I did, I just got a good old US made nut that's got the washer built in, so when that goes on top of the stud, I have a nice broad surface to strike with the mini sledge. And you're just going to continue driving those studs out. Let's get a light there so you can see the studs are coming out. I might be able to just, yeah, there, I can just grab it. 1, 2, yeah, so they're coming out. So what I'm going to do now is let my stand down to let the lower arm down, and this ball joint is going to drop out of the upper control arm. And remember, the upper arm is stationary because we've got that socket in there. You can use a block of wood or whatever. So here we come. Now I can get to those remaining studs. We're going to pull these out because we're going to replace these with bolts that are supplied in this little kit. The bolts have to go all the way through this block and back through the ball joint and with the nut on top. So I'm about out of my travel here on my stand. So now I've got to, I'll probably have to pull my stand out or just raise the vehicle a little bit more so I can get the ball joint out of the way. We have a little bit of clearancing to do back here just to make sure that this will actually fit up in here. And once we clearance it and we get that block to fit up in there, we're just going to go right back up with the knuckle and put the bolts all the way through there and sandwich it all back together, and then voila, we've got a lifted suspension. And now we're halfway there, so you can see I've got the ball joint out of the way, and this is that part that I just need to grind off a little bit to clearance, so this will actually fit up in there. Right now it's close but not quite there, so I don't know, that might take an 1/8 inch or something off of that segment. And I did just unload the torsion bar a little bit. This torsion bar was already pretty much loaded all the way down. That's another way to sort of get a lift out of your truck. If you load that torsion bar, it's going to put some preload on this control arm and push the suspension away from it. So the way you make that adjustment, come under the truck. So driver's side is right here. There's the bolt for it. Passenger side is here. Here's the bolt for it. That's a 22 mil or a 7/8. Here we can see there's the nut up top. Hold the nut still with your wrench and turn the bolt. Now, of course, I went counterclockwise like I'm loosening the bolt so I could unload the torsion bar. If you want to try and raise your vehicle, you're going to tighten that bolt. So you can try and back that off first, back that top nut off first, and then make your adjustment, or just hold this still, get it, crack it loose and hold it still and spin that bolt. So now I'm going to get the die grinder out, trim that a little bit, and then slap it back together. Yeah, okay, I didn't really like the idea of just removing material, so what I did was make 3 relief cuts, and then I just took a long punch and a mini sledge and just drove these 2 tabs back in towards the frame, So now that gives me room to get that in there. And if I want to, I can come back and weld up these little gaps, and I'll just have a bit of an enlarged opening that will still be strong. Not that it won't be strong if you grind a little bit off. I just didn't want to do it that way. Alright, so now I've got that in there. All I got to do is get the ball joint back up in there and put the bolts through it, and just put it back together and do the other side too, and then we'll be done. That's it, back together. Yeah, I mean, it takes about an hour, I guess. You know, you're cleaning stuff as you go. Of course, I can never have clean cars brought to me. They're always covered in mud and all sorts of oil. So make sure you leave that little channel on the bottom, so when mud and water gets in there, it has a place to escape. And you may have to change that grease fitting swap it out from an elbow to one that's straight up, so you can still put your grease gun in there to put grease in your ball joint. But we can see what kind of difference that has made. So this is just hanging out here, and between the bump stop and my fingers, I mean, 3 fingers, 4 fingers just starts to touch. You can see it used to ride on that bump stop quite often. So if we come over here to the side that I haven't done yet, and we can see 2 fingers, I'm already touching that bump stop. So, I mean, that's about equivalent. Should be. There we go, right there, 2 fingers. So that's exactly how much lift you get. I'm anxious to see what it's going to look like when it's on the ground. So let me repeat the process for drivers, and then we'll get it on the ground and see what happened.
Boy, that did the trick. Steers great, and now it sits level. Thanks for watching.